Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I want to welcome each of you to the observation of the 10th anniversary of 9/11, honoring our first responders, and to dedicate the Guardians of Liberty and Freedom painting to the Corning community that you see in front of you.
I wanted to create a painting that gives us an opportunity to thank volunteers, specifically first responders, for their service that they unselfishly provide to our communities. First responders are the backbone of all communities. On New Year's Day, I was thinking about the year ahead. I made a rough drawing in my sketchbook of an idea for a painting to commemorate the 10th anniversary of September 11th. I had planned to create a painting during my 3-month residency at the Corning Center for the Fine Arts, and then present the completed painting as a gift to the Corning community. The Corning community has been very welcoming and encouraging to artists for years, and I wanted to do something to say thank you. Looking forward to the 10th anniversary of 9/11, I wanted to create an opportunity for reflection and gratitude. There are people in every community who at a moment's notice leave the safety of their family to help our families. While doing research for the painting, I read a speech by President Franklin Roosevelt, delivered on the 50th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty. In it he said, "Liberty and peace are living things. In each generation, if they are to be maintained, they must be guarded and vitalized anew." Reading FDR's emphasis on each generation guarding liberty and peace fixed the painting's title and its purpose. The commemoration of 9/11 and the gift to the community related naturally and carried more meaning together. It was key to me and the project's intent that real people who fill these occupations in the community model for the painting. My goal with my art is always to create, illuminate, and translate faith. I believe this painting epitomizes that goal. I created a piece of art that illuminates first responders and honors their dedication during the terror attacks of September 11, 2001, which hopefully translate into faith. Faith in our country, our communities, and in this generation of guardians. Thank you today for helping me pay tribute to first responders and commemorating the 10th anniversary of 9/11.
The 2011 Honoring First Responders celebration recognizes the brave men and women who protect our families, our property, and to thank those individuals. I am honored to introduce representatives of the local first responders, and they will then introduce a state representative in each of their disciplines. Donnie Willett is first.
Most of you in the crowd will remember where you were at and what you were doing on September the 11th of 2001. I know for myself, I was at home, my wife was gone, and that morning I had the TV on, not paying that much attention, saw the first tower, and I was with it all day long with the TV. There was 343 firemen in New York lost that day. But every time we go on a call, we sacrifice, or could sacrifice, the same thing. And for us to have 30 volunteers on our Corning Fire Department that are willing to do this day in and day out, I think it speaks big for our community. We are very fortunate with the community support we have and everything, but they make a big sacrifice in their lives when they join the fire department.
I'd like to say I'm extremely honored to represent all the law enforcement, past, present, and future. I'd like to thank my family for always standing beside me. I'm also glad to be the sheriff of Adams County.
When I started, there was no night radio dispatcher. We had no car-to-car contact with the sheriff. We had to contact the sheriff's office, and they would relay the message to their cars. The counties had 2 officers, a sheriff and 1 deputy. If anyone wanted to contact the Corning police at night, if they weren't in their car, they would call the utilities plant, and they would turn on a red light that was on the outside corner of the building. My patrol training consisted of 5 weeks of classroom instruction and 2 months riding with other officers. Now they have about 14 weeks of training and ride with other officers for 6 months. Of that 5 weeks of instruction, as I remember, not more than 1 or 2 hours was spent on first aid training. We hadn't heard of first responders at that time. Corning's ambulance was Kenny Rowland's hearse with a portable red light on top. Then later there were privately owned ambulances with the personnel having little or no medical training. Because of patrol's small numbers and the large area we covered, the injured people were usually gone from the scene of the accident when we arrived. If they were still there, we would try to find someone with medical training to look after them. We would devote our time to directing traffic to keep the road open, not realizing, as we learned later, that we were destroying evidence. It was not the practice to block a road as they do today. Because of this legalized society that we live in, after a couple of lawsuits, it was decided we need to be certified. The crash management program was implemented in 1979. I was sent to the Ottumwa Hospital for a crash course as a first responder. Everything the patrol did back then was a crash course. We were fortunate. We had 2 troopers on the patrol that were RNs. They instructed yearly refresher courses. Now there are the trained EMTs, paramedics, firemen, National Guard, and law enforcement as first responders. They spend a lot of time training and spending some of their own time doing so. In observance of 9/11, I'm asking you to support the first responders, because as the saying goes, the life they save may be your own.
Megan recently received the Spirit of Mission Award from Allegiant. Quotes from her co-workers state it best: Megan goes above and beyond to do the little things that really matter to the patient. I happened to be in New York last weekend. My brother lived there, lived right downtown, right by the Ground Zero. I don't know about all of you, but it just brings back such strong emotion to all of us and to us that day. I was having a breakfast meeting that morning, and my son had just moved to New York, and someone sent me a note and said, "Is he okay?" And I said, "Okay, well, what's going on?" And then, of course, the day unfolded. We were glad to make contact with my brother, and he had gathered my son. And I don't know, what would you say, 343 firefighters? Well, I heard a story today on the way out here that a lady was running down the stairs, and these firefighters were running up the stairs. So as you can see, it's still 10 years later. I know it hurts all of us, and we thank all of them, and what a better way to tribute than to have this wonderful portrait.
Let everybody know, my commander that I'm going to bring up here in just a second, just sent me to an Army instructor's course, and I got to learn how to talk for 55 minutes. So I hope you guys got time.
I'd just like to say thank you. I'm extremely honored and humbled to have this opportunity, and very grateful to Sergeant Stewart for extending that offer. Michael, I just met you this morning. I want to make sure I tell you thank you for that painting. When I walked in and I saw it this morning, I thought, wow, what an honorable painting for a lot of people. One, for the individuals on that painting. The painting is also a great honor for all volunteers, all walks, and that's why I say thank you, because it really is for everybody that serves in whatever capacity it might be. And then it's obviously a great honor and a great remembrance for the days of September 11th. And I know everybody shares the story of where they were at on that day and how they remember, and everyone here could probably say verbatim. I was in West Point, New York, 50 miles north of New York City when it happened in a class. And I was surrounded by Army officers, Army soldiers, and people who were preparing to join the Army. And it was very, I don't know if comforting is the right word, but that's the word I'm going to use. It was very comforting to be around those type of people. Because while there was a great amount of sadness over the tragic loss, right with it there was immediate determination. And you knew that people were going to do what they had to do to be guardians, guardians of peace and liberty, I believe is what it is. So again, I want to say thank you.
The Guardians painting has been the incentive for gathering funds to donate to the Red Cross. We would like to thank those who have been instrumental in making a financial contribution to make this a reality.
Today is the official kickoff for the fundraising campaign for the American Red Cross Los Hills chapter. We're asking individuals and organizations to go to www.corningfinearts.com, where you can order singles and blocks of prints of this painting. You can also view a YouTube video of the making of the painting on the Arts Center's website. Starting today through December 31st, all proceeds from the sale of prints from this painting will go to the American Red Cross Los Hills chapter. So Jill, Allegiant Health and Thrivent Financial for Lutherans have already generously donated, allowing me to officially kick off the campaign with the check presentation to the American Red Cross Los Hills chapter in the amount of $3,000. There you go. It's my great pleasure to present this painting to the community of Corning, Iowa, for their service, generosity to resident artists, and their overall support of the arts. So Deb, thank you for graciously accepting our offer to place this painting on permanent public display at Allegiant Health Mercy Hospital in Corning.
Thank you, Michael. I should be thanking him. You should not be thanking me. Humbled to be able to take this painting and put it up and honor all of you into the future. Anybody want to come look at it, come to the hospital. We'll put it in a very prominent place. Thank you. I want to thank everyone for coming today, and the reception is following in the Arts Center. But at this time, please join Rachel in a sing-along of America as we have the dismissal of the flags by the Boy Scout Troop 104.